What's up, Aries? How are you doing? I hope well. So, this is going to be your reading for the full moon in Gemini. That full moon will be the last full moon of this year. It will peak on December 4th. The energies are potent 3 days before, up to 3 days after. But the peak will be on the 4th. So, this is going to inspire some deep conversations. So Gemini is about communication. It could also kick off maybe some creative ideas and explore different viewpoints. So you might have a conversation, or I don't know, you might have a creative idea and you're looking at things from a different perspective, maybe changing some things up. And so, what I want to do is, I want to see what area of your life this is going to touch down on, and see which planet is expressing it. So, what do we got for Aries here, please? Full moon in Gemini. Remember, take what resonates, throw out what doesn't. And if other energies come out, place parties where it fits. Only you will know. What do we have for Aries, please? Full moon in Gemini. Saturn. Responsibilities, boundaries, long-term goals, commitment, discipline. Okay. 10th house. So career, ambition, goals, and status. Okay. Getting more committed to the goals, maybe? What do we have here? Let's get more. Intervention. Family. Okay, so it really feels a lot like some of you need to be a little bit more disciplined when it comes to home life and career. So I think you have a tendency to, maybe you're leaning more towards work, but you're realizing maybe there's more to life than being chained to making the money, right? Maybe you haven't been spending a lot of time at home. Maybe you've missed some things, and Saturn's coming into play, and, saying maybe there needs to be some boundaries. Not saying you can't have a wonderful career and the home life, but, maybe a little bit more discipline and boundaries, being able to balance the both, not being, because I feel like maybe you're being pulled towards the goals and the career and making the money, but I also feel like you're probably being a little pulled towards, making more memories with your family. Maybe you've missed out on a few memories due to work commitments. And I think you're being pulled in both directions. And this is, I think, getting the perspective of, okay, how do I handle both in my life is what it feels like. Can we get more on this, please? Okay, so we've got Scorpio energy, Gemini energy, and we have Aquarius energy. Yeah, it almost feels like with the crystal ball here, it's, seeing more clearly, right? Better planning. The yacht is, the luxuries, the wealth, prosperity. And I feel you're getting more clear on learning or I almost feel like it's like you're maybe, I feel like, you're the type that's always dependable at work, which is why you have such great wealth and you do well when it comes to the career, but you're also seeing that you feel maybe like you're punished, not 100% punished, but like if something goes wrong, so if you want to take off and you're on a family vacation, and work reaches out to you, there's an emergency, and you feel like if you don't spend the time, even though you're with the family, possibly on travel, if you don't spend the time on the phone or laptop with work, if something goes wrong, you're going to feel like it's all your fault. And I think this is something you're learning to balance carefully. You are probably in a very all positions are important, but you might be at a higher level to where there's more weight on you if something goes wrong or if something should fall apart. And so you're struggling with definitely the balance. You're being pulled on, by your family, you're being pulled on by work. And so this is time for you to, have some, maybe even have that deep conversation with yourself on how to best handle this. I mean, I get it. That's tricky. Let's get some more on this. Let's do the intervention. Let's get more on this. Which I think is what this full moon is. It's kind of having an intervention on you. So we have the Chariot, Cancer energy, but I mean, it's really on the side. It's like that push-pull, right? Scattered. You know, you're trying to get yourself at a point of getting clear on a direction forward on how to handle maybe the conversation at work, to where when you're on vacation or when, you know, you're off from work, that's it. You know, you're off. You know, you might be able to check email in the morning or at night, but in the core hours of the day when you're not at work and you're off, you're not available. And it's, you know, yeah, see, there's the Two of Cups. It's carefully dealing with your partnerships, right? So strong Cancer, it's Cancer energy as well, you know, and if you have any Cancer in your chart, you know, you're going to feel like you have to take care of everything, and everything at the same time, right? So Cancer energies, you know, very much the mother of the zodiac. They're very nurturing. They're very protective. They are empathetic. So, you know, if there's something going down at work, they feel guilty. They don't want to leave everybody at work hanging. They, you know, if something happens and their, you know, kid breaks an arm, you know, at one of their sports events, you feel you need to be there. You feel very pulled, and I think it's, you know, it's a fine balance. Oh my. You know what I mean? It's a fine balance, and it's, I think, more listening to your intuition on how to best balance, how to harmonize with all your connections and partnerships with family and work. Yeah, it's like, you know, here you have the Ace of Swords. So it's like, much like the crystal ball, it's having that breakthrough, you know, clarity, and having the idea, creative ideas, which is part of the full moon. And it's, you know, how am I best going to handle this? Well, like I said, you know, if you're on vacation, you can check email in the morning or at night. Core hours, you will not be available. So, you know, same thing at work, unless it's an absolute dire emergency. If it can wait, it needs to wait, right? So when you're at work, you know, your family isn't going to bother you during those core hours unless, you know, somebody does break an arm or a finger and, you know, they end up where they have to go to the hospital. That's an emergency, right? So I think that's all it is for you, is that fine balance, and you're gaining clarity on how to do that, because you've been feeling pulled in all directions, and now it's okay, I got to get clear on how to best handle this and have these discussions with family, and at work. And so that's a heavy weight on you. I have chills right now. So, and you're gaining that clarity right now. This is the intervention on, okay, you know, you can't help everybody at the same time. There has to be some limits here. And if it's an absolute emergency, yes, then people can break in. They can break into it. 1616. Readjustments. Yeah, this is you readjusting. Hey, I can't be everywhere at the same time. It's impossible. If you have an emergency, yes, I will be there. If you have an emergency, yes, I will be there. Other than that, I will, see you in the morning, see you at night. And that's for both, right? For family and for work. Because, you're with your family when you go home, right? You see them in the morning before you go to work. When you're at work, you cannot be bothered. I'll see you when I get home unless there's an emergency. Vice versa. When you're out on vacation or having time off and you're with your family, you tell work, I'll check email in the morning, I'll check it at night. If it's an emergency, don't bother me. Core hours during the day, I'm not available. And it is actually treating both partnerships, the partnership with work and the partnership with the family, it's treating them the exact same. Don't butt in unless it's an absolute real emergency. Overcoming the obstacles. So this is a time where you're going to get a whole new perspective on how to handle this rather than everybody, like I said, coming at you at the same time. Support, comfort. Your self-control is strong enough to set things right. A new romantic or platonic friendship is on the horizon, along with the opportunity to reconnect and start anew with someone from your past. Trust that everything will fall into place as you embrace these positive changes. So really here for you, it's readjusting how you handle all of your partnerships, your connections. So you're not the chariot who's on its side, because when the chariot's on the side, the chariot's not going anywhere. Okay? The wheels are not on the ground. You're not able to help anybody. So if you have everybody coming at you at the same time, there is nothing you can do until you set the boundaries and are clear with everybody on how you'll be able to help everybody out without, feeling, I have to be there for my job 24/7 because that's where I make my money, or I have to be with my family 24/7 because they're constantly pulling on my heartstrings. It's that fine balance with everybody. And that's what's happening for you. Because Aries, you're ambitious. You're competitive. You're courageous. You're energetic and you're fiery, and you think you can do everything at the same time, but that's only going to burn you out. And that's why this intervention card is here. You see, this guy's looking up at that light, the light shining down on him. And it's like, hey, first card out is you can't help everybody at the same time. You got to have some boundaries here, okay? This is why you feel like you're being pulled in so many directions, and you feel, like the chariot on the side, you feel stuck. You feel like you don't know which way to go because you got to have your money to live, right? You got to have your money to support your family. You have to, you have to be there for your family. It's a fine balance, my friend, and you're getting a whole new perspective on setting those clear boundaries with everybody in your life. But at the same time, you're still going to be there for everybody. It's just, hey, this is how we're going to do it, and you might not do it like I said. You might have a better idea that works better for you. I'm just throwing that out there as, how are you going to treat this equally? Because both are just as important. Family's very important, but you still got to work to live and eat and take care of your family, right? And have a roof over your head. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. Much love and light. I will talk to you soon.